Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Debsy, and the place to be, it's Debsy. Boop, that's me, boop, Debsy. Hey guys, happy Wednesday. I hope everybody had a great day. Tonight is Vanderpump Rules reunion, the first part of it. It's a 3-part reunion. Beyond excited for that. I was planning on doing like making some goat cheese balls, like a knockoff from Sir's, but it's so hot and today was the day, so I'm just not going to. I still have the goat cheese in there. I might do it for the second or third installment of the reunion. So I'm not gonna do it tonight. I'm just gonna enjoy myself. But last night I watched Real Housewives of New Jersey. Theresa gets married. I'm gonna talk about it a little bit. I didn't make any notes on it. I just wanted to watch it. Plus, how many notes can you really make? I'm just gonna go noteless, and I'm going to talk about what had happened. And I know I said that I was going to have some pignoli cookies because they're Theresa's favorite, and some sprinkle cookies because she threw them in the garbage because she likes pignoli cookies. I didn't get them. Getting the pignoli cookies would have meant going down to Moyo's on Route 22 in Monroeville. And listen, I hate going on Business Route 22 in Monroeville. It is such a pain in the ass. So I didn't do that. And I don't have the sprinkle cookies. And to be honest with you, I'm not eating a ton of sugar, so I didn't get them. But I'm going to talk about what had happened last night. So Theresa getting married, it was really broken up into different parts. It was broken up into like the rehearsal dinner and cocktails and DJ. And then the next day there was the wedding, and then there was the dinner. We found out during the show that Theresa says Louis doesn't have that many flaws, and he says, I do. I pee standing up. And she was like, oh, I think I like that. I like that. You pee sitting down. What do you do? Shit standing up? So I don't know. That's what he says his one fault is. He pees sitting down. That's it. Also, I don't know that I am 100% convinced that Dolores is 100% okay with Jennifer Aiden. There were a couple times whenever Dolores kind of gave a look like, and whenever Polly was like, what kind of whiskey do you like? And Jennifer Aiden said, I don't like the taste of any whiskey, but I like the effects. I like what it does. And Dolores made kind of a face then. And then also it was, I believe it was Gia, Dolores, and Jennifer talking at the rehearsal party. And the subject of Joe and Melissa had come, and how they weren't going to anything, and Jennifer had said, I want it to just be positivity for the next 2 days. More on that later. But and then Gia had left, and Dolores had said something like, it's just sad. It's just sad that it happened like that. And then Jennifer had said something like, well, everything can't be rainbows and sunshine or something like that. And Dolores kind of had a little bit of looks. I don't know that everything is copacetic with them. I don't know. I mean, it could be, but I get the feeling it's not. And about Joe and Melissa. Joe and Melissa, and I thought this was shitty. I thought this was just real shitty. But Joe and Melissa don't go to the wedding, but then on the night of the wedding, they put all these posts out there on Instagram and video about it's better than a wedding, and popping off on Theresa. Listen, I think that was distasteful, just because, I mean, if you're not going, then just don't go. But let her have her night and her day of happiness. I mean, I don't like Louis. I think there's something about him that I just never liked. And I think there's going to be shit coming out about him that, doesn't paint him in the best light. I'm not saying I know anything, but I'm just saying I don't trust him. I never trusted him. But she's happy. Just let her have her happiness now. I mean, that's just it. If you don't want to talk to her, then just don't talk to her. Same with Theresa and Louis. If you don't want to talk to them, don't talk to them. It seems like she's not talking to them. But that's just it. I thought that was distasteful. And about that whole thing with Jennifer Aiden was like, we're not going to talk about this. And I want them to be happy for 2 days. Next day, when Theresa is getting her hair and getting her makeup done, she comes in and she pulls Theresa in the other room, gives her a real nice locket with a picture of Theresa's mom and dad, a favorite picture of her mom and dad, with a little diamond heart below it. And it was real nice. And then she comes out and says, hey, I'm sorry, but I think maybe me telling Danielle that rumor about Melissa may have been the reason why they're not coming. And was talking about, well, before that, Theresa's makeup artist had brought up Joe, and Gabriella, her daughter, was just like giving the looks because, and I agree, she said, if Joe's not going to be there in person, then he shouldn't be there in conversation. And I completely agree. Listen, this is a happy day. This is supposed to be a happy day. So when Jennifer's in there talking about Joe and Melissa, you could see that Gabriella, it was affecting her, and she was starting to cry a little bit. And then Gia starts yelling. I'm going to tell you what, I would never want to cross Gia. Gia starts yelling, who's making her cry? Who's making Gabriella cry? And then Jennifer says, oh, I was just giving her the gift. That's all. No, you were not. You're lying. You were talking about Joe. And then, well, that's it. We're not going to talk about him anymore. That's just it. Just don't talk about it anymore. And on the whole tip of like, Joe and Melissa, well, then here comes Margaret into the whole thing, and she just can't stop talking about it. She's crying whenever Louie's walking down the aisle, and she's filming it, and she's saying, oh, gorgeous, gorgeous. Then we come to find out the reason why she's crying is because she's sad that Joe and Melissa aren't there. And I mean, it is sad. I mean, it is sad, the state that they're in. I mean, she now doesn't have any family outside of her daughters. I mean, did she do that herself? Yeah, because years ago she cut out like Kathy and Rosie. So, she cut them out, and now she cut her brother out. So, so they were talking about that. It is sad. But then later on, after the wedding and before the reception, Margaret's like, I don't know that I can't stay here and celebrate these people who are doing this to Joe and Melissa and blah, 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 this and that. And I'm not going to do it. Jen Fessler was like, well, I'm going home with you. So bitches, you're going to stay a little bit because I got to get some of this mac and cheese. I got to get a couple drinks in me. You're driving us home. And then Melissa, after they introduced the wedding party, then Margaret dips out. Margaret and Jen Fessler dip out. Listen, I'm pretty sure Jen would have been just fine staying there, but Margaret was her ride. And by the way, let's talk about Margaret, Who exactly are you? What are you here for? Comic relief with them glasses? What are you coming in as like a Walmart Elton John or something with these glasses? But I'm gonna say, I mean, it was a real nice setting. I will say that. And there were just tons of Real Housewives there. There was from her cast, there was of course Dolores and Jen in the wedding, but there was everybody except from their cast except for Melissa. There was from Atlanta, there was Phaedra and Kenya. There was Dorinda. Let me just tell you, there was Dorinda, and I'm going to say this right now. For the longest time, Dorinda was my absolute favorite housewife. And the only time when she kind of lost me a little was when she was really drinking heavily and she got just real mean and just real sad. But for the longest time, I loved Dorinda. I still really like Dorinda. Jill Zarin, I'm going to tell you, I have watched every single season of Real Housewives of New Jersey, with the exception of the last one. And I always liked Jill Zarin. I'm sorry, it may be an unpopular opinion. I liked Jill Zarin. I mean, was she really not aware? Her self-awareness was not great. However, she was great for reality TV because she was just a character. And she seemed like she just said it like it was. I liked Jill Zarin. I was kind of upset that she wasn't on this Real Housewives Ultimate Girl Trip, the one with all the women from all the oldies from Real Housewives of New York. I would have rather have seen her on there than see Kristen Taekman. Kristen Taekman was on for what, 2 seasons? She brought nothing to that show. What was her tagline the one year? The one year was like, I might not be smart, but at least I'm pretty. No, I didn't think she brought anything. That's just, now I'm just getting into that. But there was a lot. Ashley Darby, listen, I like Ashley Darby. I wish Ashley Darby would cover up though, because it's either your boobs are hanging out or your coochie, or you're like a breath away from exposing your chuchina, from your hoo-ha just being all over the place. Cover it up a little bit. I do like Ashley, and Ashley Darby was at the bridal shower too. So it was a who's who of like, and there was somebody from Dubai there. And then Chanel Ian, I don't know who that is. So it was a who's who of like, of housewives. Let's talk about it though. The hair. Oh my gosh, that hair was, it was 5 pounds of hair. And the bridal party just could not hide their like disdain. They were really trying hard. They were really working hard to cover it up. Like Jennifer and Dolores, they hit it pretty good. But one of her daughters literally came out and said, that looks like a literal rat's nest. It literally looks like you're wearing a rat's nest. It was ridiculous. And her stylist was so proud of it. She's like, she got 1,500 pins in there. It took me hours to craft this. It did look like a rat's nest. It looked ridiculous. But hey, I mean, that's what she wanted. She loved it. If she was happy with it, then she was happy with it. I thought it looked like my big fat gypsy wedding or something. My big gypsy wedding. That's what I thought. But hey, who am I? all the ladies looked fantastic. I cannot believe how big her daughters are, how quickly they have grown. Beautiful. And it was just a beautiful wedding outside. You know, that afterwards, that reception, I mean, to say it was over the top is just an understatement, because you got these people with fire, and then you got people swinging around on swinging around in hearts, and then you have this, why do you need a burlesque dancer at your wedding? I mean, especially since Jennifer and Bill brought Linda from HR. I'm sorry, that's what I'm calling their daughter, Linda from HR. I don't know why she needed to be there. I mean, they were probably like, well, she really loves Theresa. Okay, well, I mean, half of New Jersey was there, so why not bring Linda from HR? I mean, but I don't understand why they had to have like a burlesque dancer. And let me just tell you, some of those people were just, I could tell that they weren't that impressed, because they brought then they brought those people that had those disco balls on their head, and the dancers. I could tell that some of these people were not impressed. I would want to see more food. Like, they had that one thing where it looked like it was maybe prosciutto that was like hanging off of a, I don't know. You couldn't have come up with something like made it into roses. You had to hang it over like meat flaps. I don't know. I think they said it cost $500,000. I don't know. Some of it looked cheap. I'm just saying. And then they cut their cake with a sword. What the fuck is this? So that's just it. That's it. That's all I have to say about it. It was something. So there's that. Tell me what your favorite part was if you watched it. I am going to get off of this video, get myself ready to go and watch Vanderpump Rules, Sandoval's a liar, Sandoval's a liar, Sandoval's a liar. Everybody, Sandoval's a liar. Seriously, I think I would a million times rather go see James Kennedy DJing than that ridiculousness of Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras. Oh, for Christ's sakes. They've already broken up. And here is another recommendation. Go onto Spotify and listen to the podcast. It's called Call Her Daddy, because Ariana Madix is on there. It's a 2-hour podcast. I have not listened to the whole thing, but what I have listened to is tea beyond tea, hot piping tea from the woman herself, and also on TikTok. Listen, I have fallen in love with this page, and it's just under the name Lauren. But what she does is she takes, she's very talented. She takes Barbie dolls, she dresses them up to make them kind of resemble Vanderpump Rules characters and some of the housewives. It is hilarious. I guarantee if you go onto that, it's just Lauren. And like I said, Lauren, and it's all Barbie dolls in Bravo situations. It's hilarious. It is hilarious. If you love Bravo, please go and watch that and subscribe to her channel. She is brilliant and it is hilarious. So with that being said, I love you. If nobody told you yet today, which why wouldn't they? I love you. You're loved, seen, and heard. Please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there, especially acceptance and love. And let's take care of one another. And I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow with a breakdown of Vanderpump Rules reunion. Let's get ready. Bye, guys.